Hi everyone, Mr. Peabody here. Just going to let you in on what's going on in Australia. Now, since the COVID thing happened, Western Australia, so western side of Australia, has had a hard border, right? And within that hard border, to begin with, we actually had lockdowns within the border. At the moment, all of those internal lockdowns have been opened up, so anybody in Western Australia can travel within Western Australia. But people from other parts of Australia can't travel to Western Australia unless they've got an exemption. Now, exemptions include things like, even they've locked down it even harder now, but it used to be things like transport, so truck drivers, fire safety, emergency services, medical staff, things like that. They could travel in and out. And believe it or not, bloody football teams. You know, don't start me on the bloody football teams. Why they got an exemption for some reason. They didn't get an exemption. They had to come over here and quarantine, but there was no need for them to come here. We don't need them. And as far as their grand final goes, we don't need that either. Even though our stadium is going to be the only stadium that's going to be at full capacity. But I don't want it here. We don't want it. You can keep it, leave it over the Eastern States, and they whinge like babies anyway. It's like, you can't take our grand final. Well, we don't want it. You can keep it. But let's start with so we've got a hard border, right? The influx of people. We still have people coming in from overseas into Western Australia, and they have to go into quarantine, like everybody else. So we've kept our numbers very, very low. And I think there was, within the last 7 days, there was one extra person. And that was, once again, that was someone that was flown in from overseas. So far in WA, there's no community transfer. Okay? That's important. We've managed to restrict it. So our restrictions have been opening up. In fact, we're supposed to have it in the next couple of weeks. All restrictions within the state are supposed to be lifted. Anyway, this guy Clive Palmer, he's a businessman from over east, and I don't know how much money he's got, but he's got a fair bit, and he likes to say he's got a lot more than he has. He's had mining companies and different companies, and he, in the recent past, has screwed over those companies, royally screwed them over. In fact, he's been put on the blacklist for something or other. I don't know what the blacklist is. I'm not in high finance, but he's blacklisted in certain areas because he screwed over his own companies, and then he went in and opened up the companies again. So that he went in, he drained their resources, took them out, and then closed the company. And now he's reopened the company. So he goes in, pulls the money out, and then closes it down and said, "Oh look, there's nothing there." Now Clive Palmer has got us in the High Court. Why has he got? He's got Western Australia in the High Court. What for? Why does Clive Palmer want WA in the High Court? Because we have a border lockdown, and Clive Palmer himself can't fly in to WA. He's restricted. So he's taken WA to the High Court to get us to drop our borders under constitutional reasons. Why, Clive? Why would you do that? Why you, personally, would take Western Australia to the High Court? You do realise that there's like 94% of Western Australians agree with the hard border, as in keep it shut, because of all the crisis that's happening over in Victoria, New South Wales, and now it's starting to creep into Queensland. Why do you think we like our hard border? Because we don't have your problems. And you're trying to open up our border so we get them. And this is where I'm coming from. Clive Palmer is a shoddy businessman. He does dodgy deals. He has for a long time. Anybody that's followed Clive Palmer at all has seen all this happen before. Why do you want to get into Western Australia, Clive? I think I know why. Because you've got mining interests and other companies in Western Australia. I think you want to get into here to do shoddy deals. Stuff that you don't want to be recorded over a telephone call or over the internet. Stuff that, if you ran a company and it was in a different state and the state got locked down, if you're doing normal deals, everything legit, you could do everything over the internet, Clive. You could do it with a phone call. Why do you need to be here? Why? Because you want to screw over some more companies, and you need to be here to do it personally, so that there's no record. So Clive, go yourself, and I hope we win. If we don't win, it doesn't mean Clive is coming in. And I tell you what, Clive, you've got no fans in Western Australia. We are going to boycott your company, and we're going to send you into the sea like the fat whale that you are.